Happy Monday and welcome to episode 91 of the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast. As you know, I am your host, Jazz Bennett, and I have a phenomenal show for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Here's a little bit about the show, just a little bit about the rules of engagement for the podcast. I want you to be as interactive as possible because I do stop and I look at the comments from time to time. And so sometimes we answer those questions in real time. So I want you to make sure that you feel that you are a part of this conversation that we're going to have tonight. And so I want you to first put where you are tuning in from. If you're tuning in from Polk County, let me know where in Polk County. If you're tuning in from another state, another country, let me know where you are representing from. And don't feel shy to say hello and to ask questions, to comment, and all that good stuff because I love interactive conversations and podcast shows. And so I want to officially welcome you, because if you are tuned in, then you are now a part of my Jazzy crew. And so here's what I need for you to do to make sure that you are certified in the Jazzy crew. All right, here's what you need to do. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you are following me on social media platforms. Subscribe on YouTube. Everything is at Jazzy Conversations with Jazz. That Jazzy is spelled Jazzie, Conversations, and then with Jazz. So at Jazzy Conversations with Jazz on IG, Facebook, on YouTube, and podcast platforms. If you love listening to a traditional podcast, you can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you like to listen to your podcast. And while you're here, if you are someone that you know has a business or has a service and you're looking for exposure, you want to broaden your clientele, email me at jazzyconversationswithjazz@gmail.com so that I can talk to you about partnering with my podcast, and let's talk about some ad space, because you need some ad space on the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast. As you know, today is Monday. And why am I doing this dance? Y'all know why I'm doing this dance, because y'all know that I love me a good Monday look. Monday's our bae. And I say that all the time because Monday is just my reminder to recalibrate. It is my reminder that it's time to refocus on those goals that we set, right? And so my favorite day of the week is a Monday. I always give motivational quotes on Monday, and I'm rejuvenated when Monday hits. When Monday hits, I'm like, all right, it's showtime. It's game time. That's what time it is. So if you also want to give a shout out to someone, you want to say hi to my guest, thank you for saying hi. Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Miss Amika, for tuning in. Look, I saw you, girl. I saw you in your royal blue last night. Listen, shout out to the organizers of the Met Gala Polk County style. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all, a time was had. And listen, I don't know about you, but I have to wipe and all of that good stuff because it's hot. Like, my AC is blowing, and I know I'm not the only person who's going through, this experience that we call summer that really needs to hurry up and turn into fall and winter real quick, because this humidity everywhere I go, like from my office, my car is legitimately probably the coldest place that I can go right now, because every AC unit here in Florida seems to be malfunctioning. That's what it seems like. So bear with me until I adjust to all these lights, and then on top of that, the humidity. So I just want to say, shouts out to, I'm going to call you Doctor. We're going to get real proper. Dr. Markeisha L. Smith, who actually is a member of my Jazzy crew as well, because I've had her as a special guest on my podcast, and she also made a special appearance at my 1-year podcast anniversary show. I think she's dope, and she has such an impeccable story. She's a boss, and what she did is she threw her husband, who has a county commissioner seat, one in Haines City, Florida. She threw him a party, to celebrate his accomplishments. And when I say the carpet was rolled out, like, all I want you to do is just, like, in your search engines, just type in Met Gala Polk County and you'll see it. And so congratulations, Vernell Smith Sr., for your county commissioner seat 1. Thank you for representing us in the community. But listen, young jock, I heard that y'all give me who else was here? Seven Streeter was here. Um, um, Rich Homie Quan was here. Like there was a lady that had a fountain there. There was so much going on, and it was a spectacular party, and people are attributing the party to the best party that Haines City has ever had. I think maybe even that Polk County has ever had. But she rolled out the royal blue carpet for this event, and so I just want to say congratulations to you guys on a successful event, because you had Polk County looking very spectacular, and it was an epic occasion. And so while we're speaking of epic occasions, tonight's episode is an epic occasion for me, because I really have the opportunity and the pleasure of interviewing someone that I've known for a very long time, and his business is taking off. He and his wife have a uniform business that started off as a uniform business, but it has a t-shirt and uniform business that has expanded beyond that call and that title. Like, there are so many different products, customized products that they are now offering. This is a a black owned business, and I had the opportunity of doing business with them, and so I want to have him do the pleasure of telling you more about the business. But my special guest for episode 91 is no other senior, and so as soon as he comes on, we're going to go ahead and get into the interview. Don't forget to drop where you are from. Let me know where you're chatting from and all that good stuff. Look, you brought out the greenery. You brought out the greenery for the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast.
Can you see me?
That's what I'm talking about, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Amazing. I really can't complain. Today has been a really good day. Really good day. Look,
any day with a Y.
What did you say?
Any day with a Y in it.
I agree. Like, you're already starting off with positivity. I definitely agree. Let me tell you something. You are already doing something that you have a signature of doing. Like, you raised that little eyebrow up. We know that's the signature right there when he raises the eyebrow.
Yeah, all the kids know that.
All the kids know that.
All the kids, everybody I used to coach, they already know what's going on.
They already know what's going on. So, like, how was your Monday? You had a good Monday?
Pretty eventful so far as making contacts with new and hopefully future customers. But yeah, it was great.
Okay.
How about you?
You guys, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, how about you?
It's been busy, Dex, and I'm gonna tell you why. You already know the hustle and bustle. You already know the grind of the first day of school. It is no joke. Like, I literally am still carrying humidity from that car line with me on this show. So you already know. You already know what time it is when it comes to that first day of school. And so that's how my day was. But it was beautiful. Welcoming back a new group of kids to the school. Some familiar faces. Some that you don't know. And it's just you just get energized when it's time to start a whole nother year. So
that's awesome.
Of course, I know you missed that, right? You missed that hustle and bustle the first day.
It's a different kind of stress. Put it like that.
Yeah.
Different kind of stress.
What do you remember about your first day of school? Because you did, you were an administrator and all of that good stuff. What do you miss about the first day of school?
Just all the uncertainty. A lot of times, as a teacher, you roll out the lesson plans. You're spending the summer or spending part of the summer getting ready. And by the time you can see some of the lesson plans come to fruition, the light bulb go on for some kids, it's that light bulb moment.
Absolutely.
Teaching geography, teaching American history, government, any of the things that you can enlighten kids on that they did not know, it's always a good thing when they can finally feel that, like, hey, I didn't come to school in new Jordans and a book bag and new haircut. I came here to actually learn something.
Yeah.
So, just to see that light bulb turn on.
Absolutely. Look, I see you have a lot of family members that have tuned in, and I know this because I personally know you, and it's always a great show when I know people personally. It just makes the show feel that much more meaningful, and I won't say authentic because it's always authentic, but it just feels like a family reunion when I get to interview people that I actually know. And I was thinking about, just the time that I have known you. And I'm like, Dexter, like, really sincerely just feels like I'm about to interview like a cousin. Like, we about to just have a sit down chat at the picnic table at the family reunion. This is just like, hey, we tossing it up at the family reunion.
It's
That's
a
what this
combo.
conversation
It's
is
a
like. It's a
conversation.
combo. It's a conversation. And so, like, we are like family in two regards. We are family, and because
Correct.
you got that rattler going on, and then we're
Correct.
also a part of the D9, and so you are an Omega man,
Of
and
course.
so yeah, I'm gonna give you that opportunity to shine.
Of course. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're most welcome, sir. So listen, what was your line name?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, is it that horrid?
No, it's not. Textbook Dex.
Okay, textbook Dex. I like it. I like it a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Now listen, I want to first of all, I start the show off with a segment that I call who is that? What is your wife saying? She said she's backstage.
Yeah, Simone is asking where she is. So,
She's backstage.
yeah.
Hey sis, how are you? Miss you and all of that good stuff. I start the show off with a segment at the top of the show, 21 Questions with Jazz. Sometimes they're a combination of 21 questions, and sometimes they are just questions that we just flow into the interview with. So we're going to start off with 21 Questions with Jazz. And so I want to talk about some pointers that will afford the audience to get to know who Mr. Dexter Brown Sr. is. So are you ready for that?
I'm ready.
You're ready. You're ready.
I gotta put my glasses on, or I'm ready.
What did you say?
Do I need to put my glasses on?
No. This is all about your hearing. You got it down pat. I promise you will pass with flying colors. All right.
Okay, good.
All right. So question number one. So when you think about it, do you feel that you are a mama's boy or a daddy's boy?
Definitely mom. My mom and dad got divorced when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, even though we have a connection, my mom and I often butted heads because we're just alike. I mean, my family will probably tell you that. But yeah, she knows if she calls, if the phone is not going to ring too many times, and whatever she needs, I'm jumping up and making it happen.
I love that. And I kind of knew you were going to say that. So it's kind of like a cheat question in my book. I knew you were going to say that, but I said it because over the years, like, I've loved that relationship that the two of you have had. And then with me being a boy mom, I get the biggest pleasure and the biggest joy out of, I think at least one of them is a mama's boy. I don't know about my oldest one, but I know for sure that youngest one. Ooh, that's a mama's boy.
Yeah, it's either the second born or the last born. They just, they get whatever's left. But she definitely made sure that she spread herself out among me and my brother enough. So we got it honest.
Now I will say, do you consider yourself to be like the typical mama's boy that we hear about, or you're the type of mama's boy that, look, we can deal with? And and what I'm talking about is like relationship wise. Do you feel that you're the good mama's boy and not the mama's boy that's on the other end of the spectrum? Like, oh my gosh, you're a mama's boy.
Are you meaning like they don't cleave, as the Bible says, when they get married or a relationship, or they're just soft?
So we won't go so specific. We'll just go stereotypical.
Okay.
Stereotypical in society. Like, do you consider yourself to be the typical mama's boy, or you're like, no, like I'm mid, like I'm workable. I can do this,
Well, I can definitely say a lot of her traits and attributes were poured into me so far as being a self-starter, but my mom doesn't touch doors when I'm around, and my wife gets the same treatment. My daughters get the same treatment. She likes working in the yard, but she didn't have to say it but one time. Hey, you and Gerard, get out there and get in the yard and take care of that. So when I started thinking about being a mama's boy, I'm not afraid or adverse to showing my true emotions. So I didn't get that part, but I did get the toughness of, okay, you cried enough. it's a wrap. Pick yourself up and keep it moving. So, single mom, huge family, played a huge part into molding and shaping me with that. So I'm a mama's boy all day long. Everybody knows that. Everybody from Polk County or from Bartow knows that. But if my nose came home and I was a little bloodied or what happened to your shirt, I got in the fight. Okay, did you win? Go on back and finish that. So that, she was that kind of mom.
I love it. I love it a lot. Now, you mentioned something I was going to ask you later on, but I'll ask you now. You know, you mentioned having a green thumb. So do you get your green thumb from your mom? Like, definitely. She's the one that like taught you how to care for Alana.
Yeah, that was her pride and joy. She was going to make sure that happened. And ironically, my dad has a degree in ag.
Oh,
so he went to FAM. Yeah. Okay. He and my mom were both up there at FAM, and I got it honest. I love working in the yard. I can name certain plants, you know, boxwoods, obviously right here. Some of the things I picked up from him. But my mom, she knows all the scientific names of them. She can tell you, you know, how much water they need, all that stuff. So yeah, I got that from mom.
So listen, are you literally in front of like real life greenery right now?
No, in fact, we've been teasing it, you know, for the last 3 weeks about moving into the new shop.
Yeah.
So this is a part, and once everybody comes in for the grand or the soft opening, grand opening, they'll see where I'm sitting. But yeah, definitely something that, you know, aesthetically, yeah, I like it.
Okay, listen, because I was gonna be like, golly, like you are definitely not playing about your green thumb, and I asked you that. I asked you that because I've seen like a lot of photos, and your wife has posted pictures as well. But I've seen you post pictures, you know, in your yard, and your yard looks immaculate. Like it literally looks like a lawn care service is caring for your lawn. It's like, dang, Dex, you really do have a green thumb. Like, that's what's up. I love that. Well,
she gets out there and mows it before I get home sometimes. So she'll start it, and then I'll edge it, you know.
Yeah.
But we're working on it.
I love that. I love that. So let's go back in time a little bit. And so when you think about your high school years, your college years, are you doing what you wanted to do? Like, what is it that you originally set out to do in life? What was your dream?
Well, it's going to show my age, obviously, but Perry Mason was always on, you know, of course, with the stories of my aunties and everybody. I wanted to be a lawyer. I just figured that was my way. If I was going to talk or get my point across or win an argument, let's do it legally. And I wanted to be an attorney. My mom marched me down to the back of Bartow Rec, signed me up for football. And that first lick was like, okay, now I want to play football.
Yeah, okay.
So that's every man's dream. Obviously, if he plays a couple of sports, he wants to be good in that sport. The late, great Ken Riley gave me a chance. I kind of think about that all the time. He and I used to talk. I happened to be born in 1969, along with Matt Green and Ronald Young and Tony Young. And there was a lot of great guys on my football team. I did not start as a football player. I played, but I didn't start. So I had 125 yards rushing in high school, and that's not a lot. My son had that in his first 2 games when he started playing ball.
Oh, wow.
But it was tenacity, something that he said he saw in me, and I was offered a scholarship. So, but being 5'10" in the NFL, you have to be special.
Yeah.
And I wasn't special. I was okay, but I wasn't special. And I realized that quick, you know, after second year. But after that, Miss Sab, who was my psychology teacher at high school, that was the path I was on for industrial psychology. So just to be real about it, I just thought about industrial psychology. I like that aspect.
Is that what you majored in at FAM?
Yes, psychology, and I have a minor in sociology.
Okay. So what led you to Pledge? Like, why Amigo Sci-Fi? What led you to Pledge?
I have family members. I have a first cousin who pledged. I have fraternity brothers that are my fraternity brothers now, but they were men that would come through my neighborhood, like Sam Wright and Clint Wright and Freddie Douglass and J.J. Corbett and Jerome Corbett, who was like a big brother to me. Tony Brown, who was my first cousin. I first saw his brands, and I was like, okay.
Longworth.
And then forget the mayor, it's just people that I knew and didn't know. I have Uncle Tommy in South Carolina. He's a Q. His son is a Q. It just permeates through my life experience. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. What do you say to those people? Because I ran into a post not too long ago, where people, they always think they know what it means to be in the D9, in the Divine Nine. And, some people will call it cultish. Some people will call it, you're paying for a friendship. Some people will just say off the wall things. And so what do you say to like those misconceptions? Like, what has being in a brotherhood, in a fraternity, what has that done for your life? And then what does that truly mean for you? Because it's not about just wearing the colors. It's not about throwing up, your signs. It's not about, the strolls or anything like that. What do you say to those people?
I think, and similar to what you just said, is like a lot of people just don't know. So it's just like minds and similar ideals, which is part of our, motto and part of the things that we ascribe to. But it's not unlike most other fraternities, especially historically Black colleges and D9 affiliated fraternities and sororities. There's a camaraderie there. Our founders, especially for Omega Psi Phi, were all Christian men, and it's founded on Christian manhood. So before I was a Q, I was a Christian. And before any of that, I was a man, you know what I'm saying? So I had to start making man-type decisions about everything.
Right.
So the negative connotations that people have are from people that are outliers. They join for a specific reason. They didn't join for the brotherhood, the community service. I mean, I do a lot more community service and all that kind of stuff than I do hopping. We clean up the side of the road. We do toy drives. We do blood drives. We do a lot of things that people see in the community, but they remember the parties. Everybody loves when the brothers get on the floor. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I joined to be enhanced. I'm also a Mason. So, I mean, it's like some of the things that you have a thirst for knowledge. And I've learned so much about being a man, about being a better man, a father, a brother, a husband, by having fraternal organization ties with people that are doing those good things.
Yeah. What do you think attributes to the man that you have become today?
I want to say being an eternal learner. What is the saying? So if you're the smartest guy in the room, you need to leave.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be that. I mean, I've been that a couple of times, either because of experience or knowledge or a combination of both. But if I don't have anything to offer my fellow man, if I don't have anything to offer people that I am managing, then we're going to have a rough time. I'm going to be constantly doing your job and not being effective at my job.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm just being a better man and not being afraid to fail, so to speak. It's not an L, it's a lesson. You know what I mean? It's not a loss. So if I can incorporate all of that into my toolbox for the next time I come to that same problem, I'm going to be better for it, be a better man, better manager, better father. Just taking everything that I've learned and put it in one box.
I feel you. I like that a lot. Dex, are you able to move your camera down a little bit?
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah, I was noticing that too. I'm just trying to make sure.
There we go. There we go.
Cool. That's better.
Okay.
All right. We'll work on that.
Did you create the t-shirt that you have on today, sir?
Oh, yeah. Branding, you and I have had this conversation a couple of times. Branding is everything.
Right.
I don't leave the house Saturday, Sunday, no time without quality branding. I just don't.
And I'm getting to the point where I'm learning to try to do that, because I see so many missed opportunities where I'm like, dang it, I should have worn my shirt today. Like, I really should have just done that. But I'm I'm leaning and I'm gleaning and I'm heading in that direction. So expect some new orders
Mm-hmm.
um coming in. Just expect some new orders. Um we are gonna talk about entrepreneurship and
Okay.
branding and all of that good stuff. But I had a friend, and you and I have a mutual friend,
Okay.
Keisha Boyd, when I posted that you were gonna be on the show, and she was like, "Oh, that's my guy right there." Like she loves her some Dexter. So why do you feel that you're so likable? Because there are a lot of people that really resonate with you. Like they vouch your quality that you think you give off that attracts people to you.
I think that I'm more or less, I'm me. I'm going to be me all the time.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely. My kids used to always say this all the time. Dad, you know everyone.
Yeah.
And that's kind of true. Um, Either I met them in some type of way, some type of, transaction. I taught them. They taught me. I work with them. We've done business together. But at the end of the day, I've tried to just be the kind of, I try to do what I say I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't, then I feel bad. And Sherrelle will tell you that all the time. I feel bad about not being able to turn a shirt out in 2 days or
Yeah.
being able to fulfill something right away, so yeah, I'm getting better at that, but I believe that I'm always me,
Yeah.
whether
Someone
that's going
in
to
the
be,
comments said that you are genuine.
yeah. Oh, wow.
Then
Okay.
they
That works.
said so they're saying that you're genuine, that you're as real as they come. That's good stuff,
Yeah. I mean, it helps, right? I mean,
right?
because now I got to take it back if I'm not, and you'd be like, well, man, Coach Brown was hard, but he was fair.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that. I'm good with
Mm-hmm.
that. At least they respected that. They knew that. And so I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah, I was hard on you. But,
Yeah.
now that you're grown, you're still calling me Coach Brown if that some kind of connection was made. You're not trying to
Right.
call me Dexter or whatever. So that's always pretty cool.
That's that respect, right? Just like
Mm-hmm.
everybody respects, Coach Corbett. Like it's always Coach. Like I've never heard anybody call him anything other than Coach. Like
Coach.
it's Coach Corbett.
Yeah.
That's
And everybody knows
that
what you're
respect.
talking about when you're talking about Coach.
Right, right. I just, did the coaching come before you being a father?
It kind of coincided. My first job out of college was with Department of Juvenile Justice. And I worked there almost 9 months
Yeah.
before I got married my first time. And
Mm-hmm.
what happened was a job opened up with juvenile justice as an adjudicated youth instructor. Started teaching there. Jack Johnson was the principal. So Mark Thomas, which was a principal at Lakeland High School back then in 94. Wow, that was a long time ago. 1994.
He
He
was at
actually,
Union Academy too, though, right?
yeah. And so Mark Thomas was the principal. And I tell you that when I went there, hey, coach, I'm just graduated from college a couple of years back. I need a job. Okay, you're certified in social sciences. You're hired, but I need you to coach.
Yeah.
So my interview with him lasted about 30 minutes. My interview with Coach Castle, who just retired, probably lasted another hour or so. And people that don't know the history of Coach Castle and Coach Quinn that coached at Bartow, Coach Castle came down with Coach Quinn.
Okay.
And so stayed at Lakeland. Coach Quinn came to Bartow, and the rest is history. So
Okay.
yeah, it came before. Yeah, DJ actually has come to practice in a bassinet or a baby carriage kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So describe to me fatherhood. Like how would you describe fatherhood and the type of father that you are?
Well, I mean, I alluded to that earlier. My mom and dad got divorced when I was younger. And so I
Mm-hmm.
had uncles, and I definitely had a strong father figure in my grandfather, my maternal grandfather. He was, by the time he and I got old enough to get information from him, he was a man of few words when it came to discipline. Whatever he
Yeah.
said, it went. But I saw how he carried himself, and that was get up and go to work every day. Hard work. He worked on the Seaboard Coastline, which is the railroad back then. I saw him do that daily without, when he sat down, that means he was tired.
Yeah.
He didn't stop until he was finished. So I model myself after him with my kids. I'm learning now, they're all grown, but I'm learning now to kind of be a little hands off, but they know I'm gonna be hands on. I'm gonna be there for them. I don't turn my phone off. If you get money from me, it's gonna come with a lecture, and I got that honest from my mom. So it's like, you're asking me for my money, so
Right.
I need to find out what's going on. So yeah, I think that I'm a fair and loving father. I think I'm always trying to see the best in it, and I'm learning how to pull back, especially with 2 daughters. So the sons, they should take it, but the daughters are a little different, a little softer.
Are you a softie for your daughter?
Well, I mean, the one that I raised, I think I may have thumped Taylor once. I never spanked her. I may have thumped her on her diaper.
Yeah.
And that'd been the last time that I put hands on her.
Yeah.
And if I raise my voice at her, she kind of cracks. My bonus daughter, she's a hard shell to crack sometimes. And then she'll just all of a sudden come to me and we're talking about stuff. So I think she and I are finding that happy medium where I'm able to give her advice or talk to her about stuff when she's open to listening, rather than me just saying, okay, hey, this is how you need to do it. So I'm learning still.
Got you. Now, so we know how you are as a son, as a father. How would you describe yourself as a husband?
I'm also getting better. I'm not afraid to open up and be vulnerable, where as a man, we're taught in the locker room, suck it up, this and that, rather than just being open to listening. I'm the kind of guy that doesn't like to argue. I really don't like to stress and argue. And what I've done is I've learned to say, okay, I can say I'm sorry. I can apologize. I can recognize when I'm wrong. And I think that communication is key. Communication is probably like 99% of everything,
Yeah.
Miscommunication and communication. So I'm learning, doing better. I'm trying. She's growing on me.
She's growing on you a little bit.
Yeah, she's got to the point where we're both able to, let our guards down.
Yeah.
We're both in our second marriages, and it's like, okay, we ain't doing this just for the fun of it,
Right.
It's real.
It's real. Listen, I've heard her talk about you before. And so, like, taking what I know, what I've seen, because we kind of throw that word around like someone, but I'm quickly and vastly learning that you don't really know a person. Like it takes some years for you to like just say someone. But just from what I see from the outside, and it's just like the way that she talks about you, like I love it. And it's the way that she describes it. One facet of your relationship is I visualize you guys as this couple that if you're out and about, you'll be good with just going back home and being with one another. Like we really can just vibe with one another. Let's just do a kickback at the house. Like I gotta call her more than one time a day. I'm not afraid to talk to her and want to, like, it's a relationship where you guys genuinely like each other. You have the love, in the marriage, but the point that you like each other and you want to be around each other. That's what I get from having relationship conversations with your wife. So I'm like, okay, Dad's like, oh, yeah.
It didn't happen overnight. I mean, we're getting to the point where, having a psychology degree, right? And having taken classes of psychology of women. Women are built differently. You're structured differently from your head to your feet, and that comes from the inside, right? So women are just built differently. Guys are like, okay, I can throw some paint on it and we're good. But women want to say, okay, aesthetically, is that pleasing? The same thing with, emotions and being understanding. You know, okay, I said what I said, but is there a different way I could have said that? Is there a
Yeah.
different way I could have expressed that? Um, and so we are partners. It's to the point where people laugh at us, people that know us, like, where are y'all? Y'all heading to Lowe's? Like, yeah, we go to Lowe's. We have Lowe's dates. We walk around Lowe's. We finish each other's sentences sometimes. We work on that. And our favorite thing is stick a pin in that. You know, so
Okay.
she'd be like, okay, we got to talk about that when you get home. Stick a pin in it. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm anxious to find out what she's talking about because I can't remember. My memory is getting bad. So I'm like, what were you talking about? You
Right.
said you need to stick a pin in. And I was like, oh, yeah, did you see so-and-so the other day? Remember I told you about it? I was like, okay, yeah. But we sit at Wawa sometimes with a flurricane and people watch. Our first date was Splitsville.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, we went and was out there people watching. It was funny. I go to Walmart, people watch, but you know, Wawa is just as good. If you really got to get gas, a flurricane, and people watch.
You got to people watch.
Mm-hmm. Get all three things done at one time.
Yeah. I love that. I love that partnership, like the emphasis that you put on the partnership, because that's, I'm gonna tell you now, I'm 43.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I have to do the math on that thing. I'm like, I stopped counting. So I'm 43 and I'll be 44 this year.
Okay.
And I've never been married. Like I truly legitimately have had probably a common law marriage type of relationship, but I've never been married.
Mm-hmm.
And so I coupled that, you know, trying to learn all of the lessons that I learned from that experience. And then I also couple it with being outside in today's society. And you can tune into any relationship podcast. You know, those are the ones that grow fast. Men telling women how they work.
Yeah.
Women telling men how they're wired and how they work. And I kind of got to a point where it's like, I love talking about relationships, and I aspire to talk about relationships. It's a fun topic, but it annoys me to no end sometimes. And because there's so many generalizations that are made, and some of them are very harmful. Like, it's so harmful to the point where, again, this is a generalization, but I can only talk about my experiences. And it seems like the structure in relationships have changed today. And I'm only bringing this up because it's a segue into our conversation of what we've been talking about, and the fact that you have kids who will get married one day. And I want to know the advice that you give them. And then you're going to, you give me some advice too with this question. My question is, it seems like there's an increase in the number of women who have a more independent stature and approach to relationships. And it seems like there is an increase in men who have this mentality of, I'm the prize, and so what do you bring to the table?
Wow.
How do you feel about that? Because I've heard sides of this where it's like people try to spin it and they're like, well, people try to spin it and I'll just leave it that way. Yeah. So with my original phrasing of the question, how do you feel about that? Or do you agree with that's what you see, or it's not what you see?
It's definitely institutionalized, meaning that the demasculation of the Black male is something that has been programmed into rap music, movies, television, even some art, and definitely art and fashion. When I was in high school, I wore size 32. Levi's 501. Everybody like, oh, so-and-so, you seen so-and-so in them tight jeans today. But when I got to FAMU, you walk around with tight jeans. You're not just dealing with people from the South. Right. Dealing with guys from Chicago, D.C., Detroit. Like, and they'll walk up to you and do like this. Like, what are you doing? Like, man, you got them painted on jeans. I call my mom. Hey, Mom, I need some money to go to the Gap and get some new clothes. I'm walking around here in these 501s and tight jeans ain't kicking it up here at FAMU. You know what I'm saying? So I think that along with changes in fashion, changes in ideology of how men, especially Black men, are treated and valued. So what you see every Sunday and every other night for basketball, whatever, is like the epitome of the strong black man. But he has millions of dollars. And some of those guys ain't the most handsomest people in the world, but they're always got a nice lady on their side. Having that guy that dumps garbage or as a janitor in your corner, having him get up, either he's working 9 to 5, 5 to 9, 11 to 7, whatever, that is a plus, as well as having a woman that is willing to know and see what your potential is. You're the janitor now, but you're only 8 credits away from being a teacher. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, you do the janitorial work. I'm going to help you when you get off. You know, combination of teamwork and understanding. Mm-hmm. So I say all that to say, if you can get more people to look at it as not just a partnership, but it's going to be give and take. If you get more people to understand that, people are happier. I think they'll be happier because I know what I bring to the table. And I know it's valuable here. It may not be valuable with somebody that's got 3 degrees because she's got 3 degrees. But like Sherrelle has a master's degree. Like, what do I take from that? I can't say, well, hey, you know, you're smarter than me. You got a master's degree. I don't feel I'm worthy. Right. No, my job is to make sure that she maximizes her potential with that master's degree as a black man and a supporter. You understand what I'm saying? So now, whereas she may be able to go get a steak by herself, I'm able to go get a hamburger. Now we both can go get a steak. Yeah. So, you know, the teamwork makes the dream work. So I think that men that rely on that should be by themselves. And I don't think women should devalue what their priorities are in a man. Yeah. Just if that's what you want, stick with that. Because eventually it's not about finding the right person, it's about being the right person. Be the right person, it's gonna happen.
I like that. I like that a lot. A lot. I'm interested to know what are attractive qualities
physical
for women. And I'm gonna give your mom some kudos right now. Okay. Growing up, like I always looked at her as the ideal regal woman. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like she was smart, beautiful. She carried herself well. She dresses nice. You know, she knows how to speak, but it's also the way in which she speaks. And I always admired her quality of womanhood. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that I will always tell people, like, wow. Like when I think of your mom, she carries herself. She reminds me so much of like the Lynn Whitfield. Like your mom has always reminded me of Lynn Whitfield for the longest, just like that. You know, like just she has that stature about her. Mm-hmm. And so when I talk to men, some men just don't like women who are quote unquote too bossed up. Like they just feel that they can just take over. Like they like the softness of a woman. So I'm just wondering is that universal? Like what qualities of a woman really attracts you?
Yeah. Intelligence and being able to hold a conversation. Sherrelle says it all the time, and I know my mom used to say it. Yeah. Me, I'm not saying I could go on Jeopardy and kill it, but I could go on there and I won't embarrass Bartow. I won't embarrass Polk County. Yeah. And that's because I love learning and education and reading books, and I've always valued that. And maybe a lot of useless information to the average person, but I love it. I love knowing how many square feet are in a mile and all that kind of stuff, you know? And it's like for women to be smart, and the basis of the conversation doesn't have to be about clothes and about the last movie you saw or the last, I don't even know some of these rappers now. Yeah. But I can't keep up with them, but I want someone that's well-rounded, right? So to be able to have a faith in something, you know, belief in God was important to me. Family is very oriented. I mean, family oriented is what people that know my family in Bartow know my family in Bartow. So we're a huge family. So that was always important to me. Someone that loves sports. You know, I'm not saying that you need to know, you know, all the statistics for everything, but be able to be well versed. I can take you to a party with my friends, with the Qs. I'm working the party. You're okay talking and mingling among my friends and meeting new friends. And I'm not looking over my shoulder to make sure that you're okay. I know you're okay. I'm going to come back and ask you, hey, you okay? You need a drink or whatever. I like women that are like that. And all the bros love Sherrelle. You know what I'm saying? We go somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. So I need that. I don't need you to be so pretentious that nobody can talk to you when I'm not around, you know. So it's always been that was very attractive to me at first meeting her. So yeah,
I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm gonna give kudos to my sis, because it's so funny that you went into that realm, because one of the things I don't necessarily like smoke. I don't know, I just have a reaction to it. Like I'm like, my voice gets hoarse and all that, and I don't care for it. But sometimes I can stand cigar smoke only for like a little bit, and then I have to just get air. But I remember you guys had a party at a cigar lounge, and Sherrelle was just like sophisticated. You know, I was sitting with her, chilling with her, and she just had this ambiance about her, and it's like, and she pulls out her cigar and she starts smoking it, and I'm like, how on earth do you look so dapper, like just chilling, and you're smoking a cigar? And I don't know, she just made it like the jazziest thing ever. And it's like, she almost got me to try one. I'm like, Sherrelle, like, I like that look on you. Like, you just look, I don't know, it's just a look. And I'm like, okay, sis, I see how you pulled them. I see you. Like, I got you. I see you.
Man, the loft is, I mean, we haven't had time. And I kind of say that regretfully. We haven't had time like we used to be able to go. We could walk in there and, like you said, the smoke, you know, but to be able to learn how to enjoy it without choking.
Right.
Enjoy, you know, having drinks or whatever and relaxing. I think she adapted to that quite well. And so it's to the point like, okay, we need to get our own torch, and we need to do this, and we need to do that. And so we're not aficionados yet, but, you know, we're working on it. And so
she made you proud, bro. I'm just trying to say she made you proud.
Yeah, we don't mind going in there. I don't have a problem with saying, hey, let's go to the loft or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I love that. I love that. That's good stuff. Now, I know I shared a story on my post before we went into this podcast on this podcast episode today. And, you know, it was talking about connection and just how I was able to be introduced to the business that the two of you own together collectively. And like what you talked about, you led us through the journey of partnership, having a true partnership in your relationship, and you guys are partners. You're partners in business. And I wanted to share this this story here before, you know, you going into your story of how you even landed in the realm of greatness, which is quality uniform solutions. And so I remember starting off my leadership career as an assistant principal, and, you know, I had back to back principals. Like we just, it was a rotating door, you know, for my first stint of leadership. And so I was afforded the opportunity one summer to basically act as the principal until we were able to get a principal. And so one of those things that I was able to do was to hire a uniform company to do our shirts, our, you know, just the staff shirts and anything that we needed. And so I was looking and I'm like, who do I know? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I wanted to patronize, you know, someone that may not get the opportunity to vend with schools, because typically we don't see us in those spaces, you know, or it's hard to get in those spaces as vendors. And so I kept hearing about your company, you know, Quality Uniform Solutions. And so I reached out to you, and I just want to say that the whole process of from meeting you, you coming into my office, we sitting down, I'm telling you what I want for the staff. And Lena Vista was a very huge staff. It's like one of the largest, well, at the time, because now these elementary schools are, but we had like 950 something staff members. And so I just remember feeling so proud to be able to bring you on board and get you to do not just one set of shirts, but I'm like, no, this is who we're going with. Like, you place your order.
I think it was the father, the daughter.
We did a Mommy T and Me. Yep. We did Mommy T and Me shirts. Yep. Then we did staff polos. We did staff t-shirts. Correct. I would create shirts. We did My Superpower is a teacher. What's yours? Wow. I was just trying to think of all kind of shirts.
Do you remember that? I forgot about that one, but I remember this. Okay, and the glitter ones with the paw on them, the Lena Vista. Okay.
With the paws on it, with the glitter. Like, it's like anything that I could think of with the staff. You were able to accommodate us, and so I just wanted to publicly, just thank you for you being so professional, you being timely, and the quality was great. I still have those shirts, although I don't wear them anymore. I still have those shirts, and when I look at them, I'm like, wow, I'm taken back in time to great times, like that. With more than a t-shirt, and now you are more than a t-shirt company. Like, you are knocking out product after product, and it's like I continue to see you working on this, you working on that. It's like, wow, like, y'all are really, really growing this thing. And I just wanted to say congratulations on the growth and all of the success. But I want you to tell us, how did Quality Uniform Solutions become what it is today? And in that, talk to me about your journey. How did you get into this business? How did it come about?
Okay. I don't know a lot of personal millionaires. Like, I know some guys that have some money. I've been around some people. My mentor, has some money. But I had the opportunity. One of my frat brothers, he actually passed a couple of years ago. Jesse Quinn. But he introduced me to a guy. We went to Cheesecake Factory, and I was looking for a job. I was in between. I was working for Acceleration Academy, and they laid off everybody that looked like me. And so I'm looking for a job. And he's like, Dex, I got a perfect opportunity for you. You got management skills. You can do it. So I met the guy. He owned a scrub company. And the scrub company actually only had one customer. And it was Blue Pearl Veterinary Clinic in Tampa. And they're based out of Tampa. But they own 55 pet hospitals. Banfield Pet Clinic, a couple of pet stores, Pet Mart, all that kind of stuff. They own that. M&M Mars owns them now. Anyway, he needed someone to manage the corporation, the information center for the scrubs. He brought me in. We ate lunch. He said, okay, when can you start? I told him what my salary requirements was. Boom. So I'm there like 3 years, 2.5 to almost 3 years, managing the scrub company. Doing well. Like I said, $1 million a year with 7 employees. But it was the fact that he had me lying for him all the time. Hey, tell him I'm out of town. Tell him I can't be here until Thursday. It was always something. And so it was getting to the point where M&M Mars was bidding for this business. Excuse me. And he didn't want to bid. He had a handshake agreement with this company to do the scrubs, and he didn't want to do it. And I called Sherrelle on my lunch break. I was like, hey, I'm gonna turn my resignation in. And she said, okay. Okay, I'm with you. I actually was able to broker that contract with another company in Orlando, and they actually paid me for a year for doing that, for bringing in the business. And so I was able to kind of see the wholesale side versus the retail side. So we jumped on Amazon, bought a silhouette vinyl cutter, bought a heat press. And in the time we were staying with relatives building a house, we started pressing shirts in the bedroom. Like, wow. in our bedroom. The heat press was next to the bed, and it was a tape that we started pressing on. So fast forward, the house is built. So now I'm at home pressing shirts in the laundry room. So, it's a little better. I'm wearing pajamas though. I'm watching ESPN. I'm not really doing the most. I'm not really doing it. We're like, we got to take this to the next level. We made some moves financially, got a embroidery machine, and was able to secure a spot on Central Avenue. And when we did that, our very first big order was with not Real Academy. It's ICANN Academy out of Tampa. Unfortunately, her school failed actually before it got started. But Octavia May over at Arbordale Central was my first huge client, our first huge client, 700 t-shirts. And the rest is history. We have not we've had a profitable year every year since we've been in existence, which is 2016. We were able to acquire a laser cutter. So if you've seen some of the earrings, I think you have a couple of pair of the AK acrylic earrings, cutting boards, acrylic signage. We've been able to do a lot of stuff. And while I'm in the office, I'm constantly looking, or YouTube is in the background playing, I'm listening to music, but I'm learning new skills. But with me, it would be a million things. Sherrelle is kind of the brakes. She's the gatekeeper where my ideas are running off the rails. She's like, okay, let's do the cutting boards. Let's do the embroidery. Let's do the t-shirts. So I can say that we've got some huge contracts in the last year or so. City of Winter Haven, the Juneteenth. We got some other stuff that we're working on as well. But it's because of the partnership. She was in the office for a while. She was in between the positions that she was in now. And sometimes I used to say, like, man, this is the worst. We're coming to work every day. Sometimes we would end up fighting for the day's over with, but I wouldn't trade that time with her for the world, because she got a chance to know what I'm about. I got a chance to know what she was about. She's very supportive. She may say something that wrinkles my brow a little bit, but when I look back, when I play it back, it's for the best. I have to learn how to live with that, because two heads are better than one when it comes down to ideas and money.
I agree.
So that's how we got there. Right now, I'm looking at 1,400 square feet. So we went from a 1-bedroom workshop, laundry room, 225 square feet. Now we're looking at 1,400 square feet where we are right now.
I absolutely love that.
1,400 square feet is
absolutely love that.
Huge.
I would tell you, like, I want to say around the time that you guys started your business is when it seemed to me like the t-shirt industry started to really, really, really to escalate in terms of popularity. And I wish, because I'm going to mess up her name so badly. But she has "she" in the title of her brand. I am gonna kill myself for not being able to, because she's a soror, she's a AKA, but she has a t-shirt business as well. And I remember toying with the idea of wanting to start like motivational, t-shirts. And you and I have talked about even having, t-shirts for my podcast, which I'm still going to work on that merch, with the designs or whatever. But it's lucrative, and if you do it right,
Correct.
if you position yourself right. And so what advice would you give to the person who is aspiring to start their own t-shirt branding company? Like what have you learned that could possibly cut corners for them, or just sound advice that has saved you money and a lot of headache in the game?
I can definitely attribute the no fear aspect. When you go buy bread, there's Merita, there's Wonder, there's all types of bread on the aisle, and I do believe, like your post said earlier, in 7 degrees of separation, 6 degrees of separation, but it's even bigger than that. Polk County is huge. Like, there's guys that have been doing some magic on shirts. Like Marius, I've seen some of his shirts, and I'm like, what, dude, that's a nice shirt. If he can't do something, he sends it to me, and vice versa. I've sent him work. You know, there's guys that do all over sublimation. Hey, man, Dex, I don't do all over sublimation. So what I would say, if you're going to start a business, just research your heart.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't built for it, there's going to be some days where you're going to be like, okay, we know the static stuff is due. Rent, utilities, all that kind of stuff is due. How do we not commingle what we need versus what we want? You know, I want another laser cutter. Do we need another laser cutter? I have a machine right now that is in the front foyer of our house that I haven't put together yet, but that was because of space.
Yeah.
But research your heart, learn the business, learn that, and I learn this every day. My design is not always the best. Be humble.
Yeah.
Understand that somebody can do it better, possibly, but as the old saying goes, you can get it fast, you can get it cheap, or you can get it good. You can only pick two. And so it's like, okay, how do I want to present my business? How do I want to, you know, let's have this, you know, how can we do this? And having a partner has been beneficial. Yeah. I've been at some fraternity stuff, and she's in the shop pressing bags. She's done some embroidery. She's delivered. She's picked up. We have, you got to have a cohesive type of idea. So whatever you do, put it on paper. Put it down first, make it come to life. And I think that if you do that, either you'll weed yourself out. You was like, okay, I'm not talking myself out of it. I do know right now I got a 40-hour-a-week job. I've been there, done that. But I can spend another 30 hours doing this dream and get it off the ground. And just know your market too. You know, it's a huge county. There are shirts that I see people walking around with. Sometimes I ask who did them, even though I do shirts. And I can't do it all. I can't do all the business. So I'm good with that.
What recent contract have you gotten that you're like, wow, like we landed this contract, like this is major for us?
Wow. Sherrelle, what? I'm thinking the city of Winter Haven for the Juneteenth.
Okay.
And the Winter Haven Airport. Wow. What was it? What's a recent contract that we picked up that is just kind of wow? Compassion Home Care.
Okay.
She has a home health aid company. She and her husband were in the suite that we're in now. We were in next door. We didn't have a window. We knocked on the door one day. I'm talking to her. I would talk to her husband all the time. Hey, y'all are leaving. You know, let me know. We ain't got the spot. She moved to Dundee, closer to her house, all that kind of stuff. When I tell you that marketing is everything, she came back to me after we did like an order of 20 shirts in like 2019 or so. She recently came back to me 3 months ago. 100 polos, 100 jackets, 100 hoodies. We'll just say it was
a lot.
About 30, it was a huge order. And I'm talking about marketing, stuff I didn't have to do anything on. And she needed it, I could provide it. So that's another step we're getting into now is marketing. We can do that.
Yeah.
People that have the magnets and the koozies, and we can do it all. We do it all.
Yeah, you really, really can. I'm gonna tell you, like with the marketing, it's almost like, you know, your product sells itself. Like when you put that hoodie under that embroiderer, man, and all you have to do is spell out FAMU, or all you gotta do is spell out AKA sold. It's a done deal. Let's put in our orders.
And you said it earlier. You said it earlier about how it bloomed. It coincided with COVID. people were home, and I know Amazon saw a huge boost, and we did too.
Yeah.
Churches are huge. Churches, when they do conventions, Brother Brown, we need 100 shirts. Okay. We've shipped to Texas. We've shipped to Hawaii, Okinawa. Since we have our website, people are able to reach us from all over the world, and they make orders.
Yeah.
The cutting boards, the leaners,
the plaques.
Listen.
The desk plaques.
So a funny story about that. So, with those, when I did those, Sherrelle had the first one, I believe. So I was just playing around with it. The same thing about the watch bands, the Apple Watch bands.
Yeah.
Those blew up. We did that over, was it Labor Day about 2 years ago? We were sitting around at the table and posted something about the watch bands. We saw somebody else do one. Man, listen. It was dinging the whole night. Ding, 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 ding. It was just orders coming in. So it's definitely something that if you put your heart and your mind to it, I mean, it's like selling candy or flips or sodas or whatever. It's the hustle. It doesn't.
That's what I'm talking about. You better call it a flip.
Yeah,
I don't know what else price for. He better call it a flip.
and you ever sat down and thought about that? How the scraper lady was making, if you do today's math, if she was selling 10, we would go in there 3 times a day. My uncle would give me a quarter. My grandfather would give me a quarter. That's 2 flips. Me and my brother. You know what I'm saying? And a nickel left with some candy or a cookie. Man, what can you buy now for 25 cents?
Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly. Nothing. So, it's like, that was a time. A time was had back then. Correct. And I just feel so sorry for these kids because they would never
listen, when the potato chip bags were full back then, I don't know what they're doing now.
I'm trying to tell you. So what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah. It's the difference.
It is. It is a total difference. But you know what's the same? Like, I look at the mentality, even, you know, from the flip lady, you know, we called her the candy lady, whatever you like to call her. But that was true business, you know, and the fact of the matter is how it correlates with your business is that the product sold itself. Correct. You know, when you saw somebody else eating it or, you know, or enjoying it, let me go to the house and get some money so I can purchase that too. And it's the same thing with a t-shirt. Like I'll see a post of someone or I'll see a hoodie or a company I'm like, who did your shirt? And if they'll say you, which 9 out of 10 they do now. And I'm like, okay, like let me call Sherrelle. Like before it was like I used to just blow you up all the time, but then I'm like, Sherrelle.
Everybody knows if they call Sherrelle, then it'll get done. If they reach me, I'm going to put you in the I meant to text you back status, you know. And my mind is like that. But it does. They do sell themselves, and I have friends that I've met through laser groups that I'm in. Yeah. The NCAA is huge, you know, and you wonder how they market these young black men and young black women and white men and white women. They market these athletes that are in college. And the NCAA, if you do it right, you're only paying them a small royalty fee. But you get that label and you can sell any FAMU, University of Florida, whatever you want. And we're in the process of that. It costs a lot and takes a lot of scrutiny. $1 million aggregate insurance for that kind of stuff. Wow. But once you're in, and nobody can come up to you and say, hey, you sold some Gator stuff. You know, are you an authorized vendor? Yes. Yeah. So, but yeah, they do sell themselves. I mean, I did some shirts. I think your son, did your son get the AF shirts? Okay.
So I got the AF shirts. Okay. And they got the soon shirts. Okay. Because I was like, okay, well, don't put AF on their shirts. Put soon. Put FAMU soon. ...
My mom asked me about that. She says, well, what does that mean? I said, and famous, Mama, and famous.
Listen, I went to work one day and they asked, and I made up something so quick.
And famous.
I was like, that's what it means. Always fun.
That's it.
Something.
That's it. I need to hear that lecture that day. Yeah.
So listen, like before we get out of here,
okay,
I want you to, first of all, everyone know how they can contact you,
Okay.
how they can purchase with you, the products that you have. And I just want to thank you for this opportunity to interview you because, you know, literally, you know, you have one of those companies that, you know, you're growing. And I just like our conversations because whether it's ordering from you and even like I've had conversations with you, I think, okay, now it's coming back full circle because even at the time that I was thinking about venturing off into t-shirt land, like you guys were so welcoming with allowing me to come in and looking at the equipment that you had, the types of t-shirts that you had. Like that was, to me, that was major because it didn't feel like any kind of competition. It was like, yeah, I don't care, you can come by the office at this such and such time and just come by, you know.
Yeah.
And I love people like that. I love people who don't try to harbor the information because, like you said, I mean, there's so many people out there, so many different types of clientele, and people are just different. So thank you for that, you know, and thank you for anytime I ever call or text and say, hey, can you do this for me? Because I know every now you get my business every homecoming, every classic, everybody is ever gonna get my business but y'all. So just know that nobody is touching my shirt but y'all.
Even if we have to meet on I-4 to give it to you.
I know you. I was waiting on it. It was Loves. Can we meet at Loves? Let's meet at Loves, please.
Yeah.
Well, I'm heading to the game. I'll put the shirt on in the car. Let's go.
That's it. I think I met your boys up there last time.
Yep.
They got
Yep, you sure did. So, but thank you for that. Like that truly, that means a lot. It really does. It really does.
No, I appreciate this. This is awesome.
Absolutely. Awesome. I'm gonna definitely continue to promote it as well. You get my not little, but you get my business when it comes to when I get this Jazzy Crew apparel out. Like I can't wait to partner with you with that. But tell us all about, you know, Quality Uniform Solutions. How can we get in contact with you and your product?
Yeah, as we stated, qualityuniformsolutions.com is our forward-facing website. And right now, it is full of school-related apparel, but there's some custom stuff on there. What we're going to be carrying in the future is a lot more retail-oriented items, where we, in the past, have been wanting to do shoes. Okay. Now we can. We have a brick and mortar that you can walk into and try on shoes. So right now, qualityuniformsolutions.com is where you would reach us right now. Once we have our soft opening, grand opening, people will actually be able to come in, and custom is key. You know, we specialize in customization. You know, if you're talking about getting something that's custom made, you can order it off of Etsy, you can order, but you don't know them, you don't see them. And I'm not going to profess to say that we're always going to get it right. We're going to try. And if we don't get it right, we're going to try and work on that. So I think that the hometown feel and the accountability is key. And we would just love to earn your business that way. Some stuff you need, school uniforms. Right. Other stuff you want, you may want a suede pink and green bag. You know, we can make that happen for you, or a Letterman jacket, or a sweater, or a cardigan. So we're here to be your first choice. We're going to be located at 1118 Havendale Boulevard, which is in the Spring Lake Square. Okay. Folks that are from Winter Haven know where the movie theater is. Yeah. Full of Black-owned businesses. Like, there's a Blaze Barbershop.
I was going to say, you're right in there with Demetri, with Meech. Yay.
Yeah. So there's that. And then there's Tika Nanton has a daycare center.
Yeah.
So we're just, you know, we've been eyeing this spot. We've been going past it, driving, because we work out at Just Move. And we're like, man, that's still vacant. Put a bid in for it and transformed it. And we can't wait for everybody to see it.
I love it. I cannot wait to come to the grand opening. You know that I'm going to be there. Yes. I can come and broadcast live from the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast if you'd like.
Make it happen.
I cannot wait. I'm so happy for the two of you. And I you know, pray that God continues to bless your union and bless your partnership and definitely your business. Because we need to see, we need another Black millionaire, billionaire, cajillionaire, trillionaire.
Speak that. Speak that.
Yes. So thank you so much, Dexter, and thank you so much, Sherrelle.
Thank you
I
very
know
much.
she's not far. She's not far.
Yeah, about 60 feet, 40, 50 feet.
But
So
thank you so much
echo.
for this conversation, and I definitely will make sure that, you know, when this post again, that we will definitely put the website and put the contact information. I want you guys to make sure that you make sure that you, I mean, whether it's a hoodie, whether it's a cutting board, the door signs that say welcome, they can do it. Hoodies, embroidery, laser cut, all that stuff, just the traditional, listen, they got
Come
you,
see us.
all right? Backpacks, customization, it's Black owned. Listen, I have tons of quality uniform solutions, paraphernalia that's been customized and that you guys have helped me to design as well. And so I'm so appreciative. So y'all make sure that you patronize them. Make sure that you go on their website and you purchase. All right. And so go to the grand opening as well. Make sure that you tune into this podcast every single Monday at 7 p.m. on IG Live. And then it will post again. Come back and say hi as well. I don't know why this platform erases all of my comments and all of that good stuff, but once it's posted, it's like it starts over again. I don't like it. So we're figuring some things out on that front, but it will also be uploaded on YouTube and podcast platforms. So make sure you're subscribing at Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. That's Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. And so Dex, thank you so much for being a part of our Jazzie crew for episode 91. I will see you later.
Ooh, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.